Hello, you're welcome to my channel. So we have this a good geometrical question here to solve, a very good question. So the question says we should find the values of x plus y in this diagram here. This is the values. So find the values of x and y in this diagram here. So like I explained in my introductory part of plane geometry, where I explained that alternate angle is in form of z. If here is P, here is Q, which means P is equal to Q. That is, octane is in form of Z, and we have also explained that corresponding angle is in form of F, and is the same thing as when we have here as A, here as B, which means A is equal to B. Reason is what? Corresponding. And again, we are also explained that when you have X, which means the opposite angle here, if here is A, here is B, which means B is equal to A, and here too, assuming here is X, here is Y, which means Y is equal to X. Reason is what? Is corresponding angles. So let's use this ideology to solve this particular problem we have on the board. The question says we should find x and y in this diagram. So if you look at it here, these two lines are parallel. Let's just name it A, B, C, and let's name this one here D. So if you look at it, a transverse drawn here to cut. Let's name this transverse here E, and let's name this one F. Let's name this one G, and let's name this one H. So if you look at it, we have two parallel lines here and two transverse drawn across the two parallel lines. So as I explained before, if you look at this, don't rush it, but if you look at it here, this line here down, this transverse is drawn across it, right? And this one drawn here across it. So now if you want to find the values of A, if you want to know the value of A, look at this line here, this transverse here. You will see that F, if you look at, you see this F kind of shape, right? Look at what I'm drawing here. You will see that this is F, right? So when you have this kind of question here, like now, if I have this, which means is this angle here, which means if there is an angle here, this angle and this one is corresponding. So if you look at it here, this angle has formed a kind of F, so it's corresponding. This, which means uh which means A is equal to 110 degrees. Reason is what? Reason is corresponding angles. That is the reason. Then again, if you want to find the values of if you want to look at the value of B here, you'll see that there is something like F drawn here. Just look at it here, F. So which means this here, this F here can give us, so B and 35 are corresponding angles. So which means B is what? Is equal to 35 degrees. Reason is what? Corresponding angles. Okay, so now since we know that B is 30 and A is 110, for you to have the value of for you to get the value of x, but let's first get the value of y. How are you going to do that? You will not you if you look at it there critically, there is something like this, right? There's something like this drawn. So here is a, and here is what, y. But we know that a is what, 110. So now for you to get y, use the theory of what, and the sum of angle on a straight line is what, 180 degrees. So for us to get, for us to have angle x, angle y, which means y is equal to sorry, the sum of y plus a is equal to 180 degrees. Reason, sum of angle on a straight line, sum of angle on a straight line. But remember, a was equated to be what, 110 degrees. So if you have y plus 110 degrees is equal to 180, right? So here you can collect like terms. You have that y is equal to 180 degrees minus 110 degrees. So with that, y will give you 180 minus this give you 70 degrees. So your y is automatically 100 and is 70 degrees. For now, so now for you to get the value of x, you use the same principle, which is the sum of angle on a straight line, because this is a straight line, right? So you have something like this dividing this here. So the sum of b and x will give you 100 and 180. So x plus b is equal to 180. Reason, sum of angles on a straight line, sum of angle on a straight line. So with this, but remember b was calculated to be what, 35 degrees. So that will be x plus 35. This is equal to 180 degrees, right? So x now will be equal to 135, 180 minus 180 minus 35. That will give you 100 and what, and 45 degrees. So x is 145 degrees. But the question says you should find the sum of what, find the sum of x and what, x and y. So because because of this board is well crowded, let's do it. Let's look at the, because the question says we should find this plus this. So therefore x plus y now will be the angle x, y is calculated to be 70. So 70 plus our x calculated to be 145 degrees. This will give us 145 plus 70, 60 plus this, that is, and so this will give you 215. So this will give you 215 degrees. So that is what you have there as your answer. So if you enjoyed my lesson, please turn on the notification bell and subscribe to my channel so that you can follow more of this. Thank you.